Alright, just want to start.
All right. Welcome back to the Bleach Wiki podcast. We're back for chapter 678 and 679. I'm Zill.
Sal.
45.
I'm Sigourney Weaver.
Probably.
And I'm a black person in the 50s.
Seems legit.
So the last two chapters have been interesting, to say the most objective and very least. So I guess we'll start with 678 with a little something being broken. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
So we get, what was it? Wait a minute, what are we starting with?
678 when the Bankai broke.
Spoiler.
Why are we all the way back there?
Because we didn't do it last week, because I was at the convention.
Okay, so Ichigo goes Bankai, and then everybody's like, what the fuck? And he's like, what the fuck? And then Baka's like, oh, he starts talking his usual, oh, I'm so powerful. I want to congratulate you for, I truly want to respect your Bankai by breaking it or so. I don't know what the fuck he's talking. But basically what it counts to, he basically says, oh, the Almighty doesn't allow me to see the future, even though you kind of said that multiple times that it did. So I don't know that
doesn't
was
allow. It's not. It says what's in C9. It's like it's not that it not merely lets me. It also
that's what I gathered. But so yeah, he can see the future, and he can also apparently manipulate the future to change it so that something happens. So Ichigo is all, oh my god, my Bankai's broke, and then Doc is like laughing at him, fall utterly into despair, and then I don't even remember. Isn't that all that happened in that chapter?
Yeah, he basically just lectured Ichigo and everything went wrong.
Yeah, everything, pretty much that was it.
Oh, wasn't it Orihime also found that her shield couldn't block anything?
Her shield, she put up the shield, it really did nothing, and then she was all like, what?
Say, what? But I was told my powers were like that of a god.
And I'm starting to feel like whoever told Orihime her powers were special or anything, which was Aizen, he might have been wrong.
Well, it was working fine until this point.
He's throwing Ichigo around and telling him all this shit. So then it kind of segues into the second fight, which is going on at the same time, which is between Yuryu and I was going to say Hitsugaya. Yuryu and Hashwolf. And Hashwolf, of course, has been kicking Yuryu's ass like, he owes him money. and
where's my fucking money?
And now on top of his sword, he's walking around with a very stylish shield, which he basically explains what we've already known for like a long time now, that the B stands for the balance, and that his powers, after an explanation given, his powers are akin to misfortune redirection. So basically bad luck, able to take from the good luck or the full good fortune of someone else and absorb that and rebound the bad luck on them, but then in turn anything bad that happens to him, he absorbs into the shield and rebounds it back onto the person. So kind of like pretty much keeps him secure in the fact that nothing bad will ever happen to him and he can rebound it on somebody else. So yeah, he's telling Yuryu this, and Yuryu's like, but reasons say that doesn't really fucking matter because don't you want to know what my shift is? He's like, why the fuck do I need to know what your shift is? If it was anything worth anything, you would have used it already instead of just allowing me to whip your ass all over the damn place. And he's like, well, I'm gonna tell you anyway. And his turns out to be the antithesis, which is basically situation redirection, or if you situation, pretty much something like
reversal
that.
sort of thing.
Reversal, situation reversal. Basically, the power allows him to switch between two people in any situation that has occurred between them. So, in this instance, he basically reverted all the damage on him to Hashwolf and basically switched with him. So now he was fine, and Hashwolf's all fucked up. So essentially, Yuryu made it so that Hashwolf kicked his own ass. And
kicked his own ass.
Hashwolf goes into a little tangent about how the power is amazing, and that it'd be worthy enough to take on Bach, and that it's extremely powerful. And Yuri was kind of taken aback by that because apparently the conversation they were going to have about Hashwolf telling him the truth about the Almighty never apparently happened, or maybe he didn't hear it when he was getting his ass stomped in, and because he sure as hell it was kind of questioning. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? The Almighty? And Hashwolf was like, I ain't telling you nothing. He's like, you seem to forget what my power is, and he rebound that back on to Yuryu as Yuryu tried to run away, and he even doubled down on that even more because that's what his power does. And then he's preparing to stab Yuryu in the back, and then with his sword, and then we cut back to Bach still talking to Ichigo about how he's so great and powerful, and how now he's going to eat his head or whatever he does. And absorb his power, eat his brains, and gain his knowledge, And that's pretty much where it ended. So the first that first chapter, which is 78, I didn't care for that too much. I hate when Bach talks. But 679, I actually liked. We got some very pertinent information. We got some possible resolution for the ending of the arc and the series. So all in all, I did like that. The things that kind of stood out to me though was I kind of find it very odd that even amongst the Stern Reader, especially with Yuryu being the new guy, you would think that even Hashwolf would know what his shift is, but what's most disturbing is that either I figure one of that Bach is the one that gives you your shift. I mean, outside of Pernita and Gerard, one thing that doesn't make any sense to me is that apparently he doesn't have any control over the power that you get. And that's one way to look at it. Or two is like, if he does, then he's very stupid in what he gives people, because what makes no sense here is that he essentially ended up giving the one person with all the daggone reason to actually turn on him probably the most biggest advantage against his own shift, which kind of just seems really odd to me. So I'm thinking that he's giving out
control over it, because the shift is based on like their own soul, and he can't really change that. So like the power is
the weird thing though, is that he's taking these things. I mean, they went to this whole thing about him giving out power and then they nurturing the power and then him taking it back, but he obviously has never shown him using any of these powers that they've had and giving it back or whatever. And I don't know. I don't really look that heavily into the Quincy's, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what their shift powers are actually based on. All I know is that he gives them his blood and gives him some reading material, and next thing you know, they got it. So, discounting Pernita and Gerard, who just got theirs, out of straight honor because they already had abilities, similarly because they apparently were connected to Soul King in some way. But it's kind of odd that it just so happens that his power is the one power that kind of can fuck up the Almighty in a very bad way. So, I mean, that leaves Yuryu, if he survives the situation, a chance to go up there and basically change the entire situation, which means Ichigo gets his Bankai back. And the question becomes really how far does this power that Yuryu has actually goes? Like, I mean, we see him, pretty much reverse the situation between him and him and Hashwolf, where, and the other thing that kind of like perplexes me is that Hashwolf, when he had the Almighty and stuff like that, didn't see this shit coming. But who knows what his skill is at daggone freaking using the ability, because apparently the insinuation is that Bach didn't have much skill in using it either, prior to his fight with Ichibe. So, yeah, some things to think about, but for the most part, didn't really care for the first chapter we talked about, but the second chapter was fine by me, and I actually was helping this chapter that I'm pleasantly surprised by what we ended up getting, but I was actually more or less hoping that we would, get some wrap up on the people in the Sarate, so that I could stop thinking about the little bit of people that really didn't get their things finished. I mean, personally, I want to find out, what Kira has done.
Me too.
And I want to find out the freaking name of Evil Zanpakuto. I dropped its certain name here, or even if it's just that. Like, I would prefer that if nothing else.
Yeah.
And
where did you? Can I ask you what did you? Because I remember you saying about Tenta Sangetsu's opinion. What did you think of the Bankai breaking? Like in terms of what we've been told in the past about Bankai's breaking.
I mean, there's some people that said, thought it was so funny because it's like the ultimate troll. But at the same time, at that point, it was kind of like, okay, what the hell? Because you waited forever for him to have this daggone Bankai. He brings it out and he didn't even get to use it. And then it just seemed like, with the situation being what it was, there was never going to be a chance. So now, I mean, obviously, with this new chapter, it's obviously an idea that it will be able to be used. My point is that there's still a lot. I mean, even in the situation that Yuryu steps in and Ichigo gets his Bankai back or whatever, back to working order and stuff like that, I'm still focused on the fact that Ichigo is going to be the common one-trick pony that he's always been, essentially. And not only that, but there are more higher things than Ichigo daggone doing a overwhelm you with brute force and Getsuga Tenshos and stuff like that on the bad guy. Like, that's not what this situation is. And even when he fought against Aizen, yeah, he knocked Aizen down a daggone peg, but it essentially was your Ohara's move that pretty much put Aizen to shame, and not Ichigo, because Ichigo was about to get himself killed, using a technique that pretty much left him powerless. So, I mean, there's more to do this here, like, even if you were to take away the Almighty or whatever have you, and you were to daggone go toe to toe with Bach, which, from what I have gathered, he's not really that big of a combat. And even Hashwolf said he's not really geared towards combat, at least not on the level that he would be fighting. I mean, if he had to go directly toe to toe with Yamamoto, he probably would have been taken out. If not for him using his medallion, and if not for the Almighty, he pretty much did freaking lose against Ichibe. So My issue here is that it seems like they're going to be in a predicament because even after you take all that stuff away, then you still have to address the issue of Soul King. So there's that. But yeah, for the most part of Ichigo getting his what happened to his Bankai, it was. I mean, I wasn't mad about it, but I was just kind of like, okay, so now what? So I mean, I really didn't have any feelings about it whatsoever. I just, was like, okay, this doesn't seem like something that happens because I mean, it'd be one thing if he didn't get a chance to activate it or he ended up getting his arm ripped off or some crap like that. But there's very little you can go with in this situation because you can't. Only person that can fix a daggone Zanpakuto, a Bokum Bankai is Oetsu, so he's kind of like fucked in that arena. But I mean, I guess Yuri's power might work in that regard because apparently Orihime's don't. So
Yeah.
totally useless. Like I said, her ass should have stayed in Karakura Town.
Yeah, she's dying now, isn't she? Background chapter. And Shippy is here. Hello, Jojo man.
Ugh.
Joe man.
You mean I actually have to talk to you people? Oh, okay.
Oh, you missed the hilariousness,
Yeah,
Shippy.
you missed us talking about ultra black people.
Oh,
All I know is I apparently missed something about Urahara possessing young women.
oh God.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently he's a demon possessing women using voodoo magic.
Bye, Wiki Face.
The explanation I want is why there's an official Kisuke Urahara Facebook page.
Ah,
Because he's
Why isn't it? Why not?
It's
Facebook
there.
is actually just another one of his inventions.
yeah, totally. But
Urahara is actually Mark Zuckerberg. Or Mark Zuckerberg is actually Urahara.
someone
It all
compared
makes sense now.
Sajin Komamura to black people in the 50s.
Sure. Just sure.
Sure.
Yes.
So I asked if they're like black people in the 50s, do black people have the power to turn more black since Komamura has the power to turn more wolf-like? So that was the worst
Does
part.
that mean that black people in the 50s had a secret technique to turn white?
Yes, that's what I said. They can turn.
That
white
also may or may not have involved removing their heart.
Fuck the heart, Sal. You've no heart. Like
Probably not.
It's like gingers have no souls. You have no heart.
Son, is that like a surprise given what he does?
Did he
He's-
die?
He's a tyrant. Remember?
Did you remove his heart?
No, he's a tyrant.
Kalima! Kalima!
Golly,
Sorry.
man. But yeah, no, we found. Do you remember Seirikitsu?
Yeah, I remember, and I'd like to not remember.
That was her that said that.
Oh, I'm well aware, and I'd like to not remember.
She was the one that said on Kisuke's page on Facebook.
Oh, I'm well aware. I'm just pretending that I don't. I'm just going to pretend that I am blissfully unaware of everything.
Yeah, it's not her fault. She's no friends. She's
No,
skinny.
not at all.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so who wants to talk about chapter 678 and 679?
I'll go next. All right. So 678.
California Dream.
Yes. Yeah, classic California joke. Insert with appropriate timing because if you ain't got California, you ain't dining.
Hazel, how's all that water?
Oh, it's great. It's great that Texas got flooded to the point where it could fill up our reservoirs 3 times over, and we got nothing. Literally nothing. How the fuck did Texas get water?
You need to join the EU.
There's supposed to be dust.
Well,
and sand.
there's an open space now.
Yeah, there's a free space in the EU.
Yeah, okay. California will join the European Union. That'll get us water somehow. That seems legit. We'll take over as the economic powerhouse. And all
Shit, shit. Well, England left the EU. Maybe that'll stop the EU sending us all the rain. So yeah, maybe you'll get the rain now.
Being in the European Union gives you rain. That's why Britain's always fucking gloomy, overcast bullshit.
Yep.
That makes sense.
True. Well,
Anyway,
unless you're talking about greenhouse effect, no, it's fucking warm. Did we kill
Yeah.
45?
No, he's been dead for like 30 years.
Okay, no worries. And Kisuke Urahara is possessing his body.
anyway, so last week chapter, I I honestly find the broken Bankai thing to be fucking hilarious, given how much everyone before was like, we want Ichigo back and in the spotlight so we can see his Bankai, and then we did, and then it got broken because Bog doesn't fuck around. I thought, like, like, I pointed out in the chat that if Kubo wanted, he could have given it some bullshit ability that's like, oh well, it can move faster than the Almighty can see, so that's why he'll be able to combat it or some shit. But like, no, it's just we don't know what it does because Bach was like, I'm not going to be Aizen and stand around and gawk at how powerful it is and how huge Ichigo's wiener is now. I'm going to just break. And then, and I honestly I thought that was pretty legit. And
Oh
then of course,
yeah, that reminds me.
And I broke it in the future.
I broke it in the future
So why
and
is it
then-
broken in the present?
because he made the future reality.
Oh,
Ta-da.
right, okay.
So
It's all about
then he
them grains of sand.
Yeah, then he proceeds to just fuck up Ichigo left, right, all over the place, and then he actually gets through Orihime's shield. Like his his attack is blocked. Ichigo still gets cut, which honestly, like you guys are talking about how useless she is, but up until this point, she was tanking his attacks pretty well. But then he turned on the Almighty, and then that didn't really last. And yeah, so Bach's like, oh well, I can transform in the future in addition to being able to see it. And like I've seen a certain someone complaining about that on my blog, but let's might I remind him that not like by the way, it can do something else that's even scarier. So yeah, fuck you.
I know Bach's gonna come out and Kubo's gonna spend the next 15 chapters discussing how he is a Hakudo master, a master of
No.
Hakudo, and extra master of Hakudo, and grandmaster, and legendary grandmaster of Hakudo.
And the next 15 chapters are gonna be Bach watching Hot Beverly Hills 90210. Gonna be references out the wazoo to that fucking show. Okay, and then
He's gonna change the future so that it was never cancelled.
Oh god.
yeah, he'll be the new star in the high school setting. How do you do, fellow kids? Anyway, so yeah, and then this week's chapter basically picked up on the last of that. So Bach's just like, okay, don't be mad because I'm not. This isn't really a hack's power because I can do what you guys can do. I can change whatever I see. It's just I can see everything. So that's all. It's different. And then it's like, oh, Ichigo. I think he paralleled Aizen some more because apparently Aizen once said like, Ichigo, everything, all your successes were because of me, because I influenced them, and then Bach's like, all your successes were because I wasn't there to fuck you up, which was also pretty funny. And then he's like, go on, despair now. I bid you, and then of course we finally cut back to the very sparsely like detailed fight between Uryu and Hashwell, because it's really been Hashwell kicking Uryu's ass all over the place. And so now, he's got a snazzy shield called the Flund Shield, or some Nazi term. And so that shield apparently takes anything that happened to him and puts it in there, so he's okay. I guess that's why, he's still pretty boy and hasn't been hurt yet. And we finally get the name of the balance after oh my god, like over exactly 140 chapters later after it was first like hinted at. No, sorry, 120. But 120 chapters after it was first, hinted at, we get the name of the balance, and it's cool and all, and it redirects with fortune, and or it's like, well, guess what? I have the antithesis, and that's gonna fuck you up because I can switch situations. And then he tries to run away, and then Ashwell's like, no, fuck you, and he turns it back on him. and he's about to impale him, but then we cut back to Bach, and Bach's like, you know what, since you're clearly done, I'm gonna just take back the power that I gave you so long ago. And yeah, that note. And I like both chapters for different reasons. First one was for how butthurt half the fan base was over, they're so eagerly expected Bankai being literally torn to shit in the span of 2 spreads. Just like suddenly it's gone. It was shocking to both us and Ichigo. And
as they say in South Park, and it's gone.
And it's gone. And then this week it was for finally getting 2 epithets. Schiff apparently heard that there would be information. Wasn't sure if it was going to be true, but yeah. The antithesis.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the balance was what we expected. The antithesis I liked. It was. I think it's some interesting applications, because I'm not sure what the boundaries are yet, but in theory, you could be like, you know what? Well, this is one dead guy and this one alive guy. Let's just switch that around, and he could pull that shit, or he could fix Ichigo's Bankai by breaking Bach's sword, which you get in reform anyway. Whatever, but yeah. So yeah, and then of course I guess. So odds are that Bach's gonna, meet the fragment of himself inside Ichigo next week, which tries to take back the power, and it's like, you've been helping Ichigo, it's time to come back, and then Old Man's, I guess, is like, fuck you, and I don't know how that's gonna go down, but it's gonna be interesting, and yeah, this is about it. Also, the friend shield is hacks. That's all.
Bach is going to break his corset next week with his boobies.
Okay,
yes. Yeah,
Okay,
like in that showed you where your Yamamoto got the fucking massive rack from Orihime, but now it's
True.
All right,
Sorry.
can I go next?
If 45, do you want to go next, or?
I can let Shiffy go next.
No, I was just checking because you were here longer. I just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, go ahead, Jew man.
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
it's already right.
So I'm vaguely reminded of a manga and anime series that is quite literally called Goodbye, Mr. Despair. Look it up. It's a real thing. It's pretty much about a teacher who hates his life. I'm pretty sure this was written. I'm pretty sure these chapters might have been written with that manga in mind.
Sayonara, Despair-san.
Well, no, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei.
Oh my god.
So anyway, yeah, okay, literally, everything is hacks. All I can really say about the first of these 2 chapters, about 678, is literally everything that could have gone wrong did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is no other way to put this. His Bankai breaks.
His horn.
Oh yeah, his horn too.
His horn of salvation.
Yeah, his Bankai breaks. His horn is just randomly ripped off
And thrown at him.
Without even noticing. Was it this chapter that Orihime's shield also shatters?
I was thinking it was 70.
Let's see. He gets knocked to the side. Just randomly. Gets smacked around like crazy. The shield becomes ineffective.
Yep.
Literally everything that's gone wrong, everything that can go wrong does in a matter of 20 pages. Which I said last week is very, very rare for Kubo, if not completely unprecedented. For a chapter where absolutely nothing good, nothing happens in favor of the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Zill, you might know this better than I do. I don't know if that has ever happened in a Bleach chapter.
back in when Okuro was around having their final fight, and he first went Resurrection, and he's like, "I'm just gonna toss you around all over the place."
And then,
But
by the way, I'll
was
back
there any
fuck it up even more.
was there any single chapter, like where in the span of about 20 pages, just absolutely nothing happened in Ichigo's favor, not even so much as a solid punch back?
Yeah, Ulquiorra. Between
a few times, but what sets this aside is that Ichigo went on a new power up, and that didn't do anything. It didn't
Oh,
even
that's
turn
also.
the stuff off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, that's pretty much all I can possibly say about 678. Um, you know, 679 wasn't a whole lot different though. I gotta agree with Zill, the whole bit about Bach just saying, "Yeah, I wasn't there to fuck it up. That's why you were so successful." As opposed to Aizen's, "Oh yeah, because I was there to help you."
Yeah.
I definitely think this chapter name was very misleading. As soon as I saw it, and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "No, wait, it's way too early for that."
Endo.
it's the end.
It's,
Fiend.
it's
It's just
way
at the end. Fiend. Bye.
Shin.
Ichigo's dead. That's it.
Just like Ichigo goes, it's over.
This chapter only proves even
Continue.
more that the entire Vandenreich is hacks and cheating. What with this shield. Um. I definitely gotta say one thing though, and I said this earlier, and Zill, gotta say I really don't like your explanation that much, but how the hell would the Grand Master of the Stern not know Uryu's epithet?
Well,
I mean, he's literally the leader of the entire Stern Ritter aside from Bach. You'd think
But
he'd at
Uri-
least know.
why? But Uri isn't a surrender. He's the crown prince.
You'd think at least one of the two of them would be familiar, would at least have a basic understanding of what the other can do. It seems kind of weird that the two were kept so far apart.
Well, Juko was too busy checking out his fashion sense.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Literally, the only interaction we saw
Especially
between
when you consider they were standing like right next to each other the entire freaking time. He may not be a Stern Ritter, but you would think that the guy who made it his business to point out to Uriu, he knows why he's there, and he knows what he's up to. From point A to point B, way back when Uriu, he basically told Uriu, "Yeah, you drunk his blood, and now this, that, and the other thing is too late. Now we know why you're here because your mother's dead and everything like that." To the point where he caught Uriu daggone all those samurai glove flakes all over the daggone place. He knew all this stuff, yet he knew that he couldn't be trusted. He knew he didn't want to leave him to wander around alone and be on his own device, stuff like that. But he never thought that, what is his shit? Like,
The only interaction we saw between Uri and Hackle was Hackle explaining like other shit to him, like how fucked Uryu is or how, Bach's power works. There's nothing like, oh hey, what's up with you anyway?
Also, that's another
crap.
Here's another thing. How the hell did he not know Udio's shift when he had the Almighty? Really, couldn't he see into the future and see that Udio's shift is the antithesis?
Yeah.
Well,
That's another decent point. But anyway, the other thing, I'm also not really clear. Is this shield part of his power, or is it just a separate piece?
I'm pretty sure it's part of his power.
Because apparently his power is all about, redistributing misfortune, and then another part of his power is about making sure he never gets misfortuned.
Yeah, but the shield can also distribute that misfortune, so I think it's part of his power.
OP as fuck.
Yes.
He's just what the
well, it
fucking
would make
fuck.
sense that the top Stern Ritter are just ridiculously, overpowered. Hashwall, Bach, Lie, like, come on, Gerard. It's just getting in a hand. Pernita was up there. Only one that kind of didn't really make much sense being up there is Askin, but yeah, everybody else is pretty much. I mean, they kind of like even with the limitations some of them had on them, they made Grimmy look easy. He had all his imagination, which really wasn't much.
The thing about Grammy though is that his defeat was easy because he fucking defeated himself. They didn't really need to do much other than I can cut space.
Yeah, and apparently Grimmy was supposed to be like the scariest of the Stern Ritter. Like, okay, seriously?
Well,
Yeah.
it could probably affect the largest area, because, even if the other Serrator, with all their stuff, they can't, drop meteors.
Yeah.
And so he was scariest because he had the most potential to like drag other people into his fight inadvertently.
Or extinction level events.
Yes. Whereas Lee and Gerard and Pernita and Askin, that's cool and all, but like they don't have the same like range to their power, unless like Gerard is supremely fucked up in some way, in which case he gets big, but. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Sorry, we did interrupt you there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So anyway, all I gotta think is now with the end of this chapter is, boy, that's an interesting cliffhanger for next week. I'm hoping someone comes and interrupts it, because that seems like the only possible outcome right now. Someone or something is going to have to come and interrupt this attempt at Bach suddenly trying to steal back all that power.
Ishin's going to come and take Ichigo into the Dongai. Ah!
Well, okay. Well, if it's not Ishin, then definitely someone or something is going to have to interfere.
The memory of Masaki.
Well, if it does end up being old man Zangetsu, then that would be something interesting.
Oh.
Him just showing up randomly, like manifesting, and suddenly, nope.
Computer says no.
It's just he just shows up. Lol, nope, you're not stealing this power. Not while I'm around. Fuck you.
Fuck you, me.
And then Bach dies. The end. I mean, no.
Fuck you, me.
Oh God. I can hear it now.
Or maybe Don Kanonji just shows up and throws one of his spirit balls at Bach, and that turns out to be the only thing capable of actually hurting him. So.
Celestial might be so dumb.
No,
I mean, of course, why not?
I just realized that what might happen if the younger Zangetsu shows up, that it might cause a lot of fucking fan theories.
Oh my god.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's really going to what happen is the ghost of Urahara is going to show up and he's going to possess Orihime and do lewd things to Bach.
With his
demon.
With his voodoo magic.
But he's not actually Urahara. He's a demon pretending to be Urahara in order to get women into bed.
And then he possesses them using his voodoo magic.
Yes, it's voodoo magic, because she is being tortured by a voodoo doll.
Seems legit.
Mm-hmm. God, Jesus Christ.
You just gotta put that video at the end of this.
Yeah, I know.
Just reading that shit.
Yeah. But sorry,
I can't function after reading that. I read 5 words.
God.
I read like 5 words and I can't even function. Do not expect me to read any more than that. Jew broken.
Future?
Yes.
I'm joking. Go ahead, but does anyone else want to go next, Future 45?
I'll go next. Oh, sorry, Future. Did you want to go next?
You can go ahead if you want.
All right. So 678 starts off with Ichigo saying his Bankai's Tensai Zangetsu. You can hear all the people whose theories were it's not Tensai Zangetsu beating their heads up against the wall. That was the first thing we heard. I did. I don't know if you guys did. Zill, did you guys hear that in California? Sound of all those people pissed off?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Oh, that it was going to be so different. And
Yep,
all
that it was gonna have the
stuff.
same name, so they just bashed their heads up against the wall. That was the first part. And
Yeah,
then-
we got like an 8.0 earthquake on the fault line from all the people, screaming in rage.
yeah, and then it gets worse because then the Bankai gets split, and then you just hear them cave their skulls completely wide open.
Yep.
Uh,
It's on it, so we actually racing IQ the fan base. Sorry.
Yeah, so the Bankai gets broken. Now, on the Bankai broken, this is how I hold on. Woo, shit. This is how I stand on it. What the fuck? I mean, at first, I understand some people's points, like Zill, like it's a good moment, it's something you don't expect. But I also understand some of the, I guess, salty people's points, like, he gets Bankai, we've been waiting for it, it's been building up to it, and then boom, fuck you. It's like, why even have him use it if you ain't gonna even see him use at least a glimmer of it? I think it would have brought more despair for Bach to let Ichigo have his Bankai and use it, and then reveal to him it wasn't doing shit to him, then actually make it fair. Because it would give him that false sense of hope that maybe I'm winning. Like Bach pretend that it's actually working against him, but then like, no, I'm just fucking you, bro. You didn't do shit to me. I just been fucking with you this whole time.
Well, that was
And-
basically what happened like the last couple weeks with the hollow form. He's like, you hit me, didn't.
Yeah, but I was saying with the Bankai because they didn't even give But nonetheless, so the Bankai gets broke, then Ichigo gets beat like a bitch, pretty much, and then Orihime's shield. And I do agree with you on this still. People say, "Oh, Orihime's so fucking useless." She was doing pretty damn good into this whole Bach on my future. I could control everything.
She wasn't doing that good.
She was doing pretty good. Her shield was blocking his attacks.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure that whole thing that you just said about let Ichigo use his Bankai and be it's not working. I'm pretty sure Bach was doing that with her power.
Might have been, but I thought he just wasn't getting attention. But he might have been doing that. Either way, it was still so that.
I mean, think about it though. Isn't it kind of odd that before, she was blocking, and then as soon as he reveals, turns out that I have more power than I was letting you know about. All of a sudden, her shit don't work no more. I think that kind of says it all.
What did he do? Break her ear? Not her.
He just bypassed that shit. Like he went around it or something. I don't know.
But anyhow, I do agree with other people though. So that's pretty much what happened. Like I said, I do agree with people though that Box. We're trying to figure out how the fuck are they going to win against him if he keeps always doing this shit. Like every single second he's doing. So the only thing I could think of is what some other people were saying is maybe the Soul King's inside of him and he's going to rip out of Bach. He's going to kill him from the inside out. Because what some people and what I was even thinking was it might fall back to what Ichibei was saying that when they were going there, he's like, but you can't beat him anyhow. Like it was part of the plan. Because apparently, if you also look at the Soul King, could see what Bach was going to do to him. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going. If that's the thing that is, he's going to kill him from the inside out. Because if you think about it, Bach's absorbed his right hand, and if he gets the powers back, when Penina died, if he technically reabsorbed his left hand, Bach. I mean,
or you have to wait for Gerard.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just, and that's probably he might be waiting for his in his legs, but at least at the heart. But what I'm saying is that might be what Ichibei was saying is him and the Soul King were planning all along, that they knew this was going to happen. That's why Bach was saying, Ichibei was saying to them, sorry, you humans, but you can't win. But that's, but that's what peace is about and shit like that. And I just think that might be one of the ways to stop Bach as the Soul King comes out and, rips him apart from the inside out. Or, yeah. So then 679, we see Bach talking his goofy shit. Yeah, saying reverse of what Eisen said. Like, the only reason why you were successful is because I wasn't there. And then we see Hasswatch and Udio. Basically, Udio is just, he's now the poster child of abused children, apparently. And Bach's Hasswatch just chased him and reveals that he has the power of the bullshit. Balance, because we all knew that was coming. It wasn't any bullshit. I'm just joking because everyone's saying that, it's balanced. Because I mean, I don't know how many fan arts like already drew like all the Stern and they're like putting him as the balance and shit. It's like, yeah, this wasn't even close to being surprised. But anyhow, so we see it, and he's talking about how he can redirect fortune and shit. Guess he should play the lottery. But the other thing is Udio Udio gets up and he's like, now I'm going to use the antithesis, which is a lot better than the arrow. I got to give him that. Which redirects shit.
That would have sucked.
Yeah.
My shift is the arrow. Really? Your shift is the same power that we all have? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Why can't an edgy guy in a green tunic?
It's like, here's an idea. Why don't you go kill yourself? Like, come on.
But anyhow, so he unleashes.
That'd be like the Martian Manhunter going, my power is shape shifting, and everybody else being like, we don't care, dude. Like a Martian.
Wow.
Why do you give me shape shifting?
But that's what they always. That's what a lot of people were saying. But anyhow, so the antithesis is pretty good. So Udio can reverse all the damage done to something
I'm
himself.
just glad it wasn't the fucking Almighty as well.
Yeah. But so anyhow, then Jugram's like, oh, I'm all fucked up now. Oh wait, I'm just gonna return it back to you, and it's just like, wow, it's like they can go back and forth, create the ultimate game of ping pong. They're just using their powers to reverse.
Did anyone else think of this fight, or if the anime got its claws into this fight, what would happen? Like, I reverse it back to you. No, I flex it back to you. I reverse it back to you.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be the greatest game of ping pong.
I know, that's what I was saying. The fuck. But
well, it's not entirely.
It would kind of be like when you're trying to set up that one black hole in Smash Bros. Melee, and you just see the single projectile bouncing off the two shields.
Yeah.
Just a single projectile bouncing off the two shielded people.
Just like a biggest.
I mean, it's not exactly equal though, because if you look at what's happening, the way, and especially with the way Half-Shoth is detailing how his powers work, he's not only rebounding what Yuryu did to him, but he's like doing it like tenfold. Because there's even more damage going on way after he had already pushed it back, and he kind of like saying like, this is basically, I mean, like you said, Shiffy, it's OP. It's like, I'm rebound what you just did to me back to you with interest. Like,
yeah, I do agree. It does what you said, Sal, with like the others. It does seem, except for pretty much Askin, all the upper Sternriders do have ridiculously overpowered abilities. I do think that. I mean, I get that. This is the last arc, and Kubo's trying to make them all appealing. But the problem of it is they're just too stupidly powerful. So anyhow, after Udio being beaten to death and still not beaten to death, but close to it, because he's starting to take away Chad's job, so Chad's gonna get really pissed about that. Being on the ground all fucked up and shit. So we go back to Bach on, oh, despair Ichigo, and then I'm gonna take your power. I guess, like we said, the only thing I could think of is the dads are going to show up. Like some people were saying, like Ryukin will save Ishida and Ishin will save Ichigo. Or it could be the Zangetsu Quincy Powell side Ichigo, or a projection of Masaki or some shit. But I think it'd be just better if it's Ishin or something. He just might come in and unleash his Bankai, and then it'll probably get broken like in 2 seconds. That way the trolling will continue.
I don't think they're gonna make it that far. I think that Ryukin or Ishin would probably step in Hashwolf and Yuryu and maybe deal with Gerard, but I don't think that they're gonna face Bach, because that's really just not their fight. And also Ishin, somebody brought that up before, and it's like Ishin went down that road before. He saved Ichigo's ass before, and that's not his job anymore. Like, he's done that.
Someone's going to have to do it because Ichigo's about to get fucked over.
When is that always not the case?
But if that was to happen, we'll see what happens there. I mean, Ishin probably won't make a real difference either way, unless Ryukin reveals he gave him and Ishin something that counters it, because Ryukin's grandfather like studied Quincy history and found something that can block the Almighty. I don't know.
Surprise epithet.
Yeah, there you
Short.
go. But we'll just see what happens. So that's my thoughts on the chapter.
I'll go next then.
Go into the wind.
Okay, so 678 starts out with Ichigo revealing his Bankai, and then like the very next page after that is just it broken in half. And at first I was thinking, did Stream like repeat the page and just edit it out or something? Like, but then when I read the next page and saw that Ichigo was like, the fuck? And then Bach was all like, you know, Ichigo, I'm real happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish, but Byakuya Kuchiki has the best sword breaking technique of all time. Like, drop. So then, like, I know there's a lot of people, like, upset about it, and I can understand, like, it's something that a lot of people have been waiting for a while, but, I wasn't really as hyped up for it as a lot of other people, and yeah, it is a little annoying that we didn't get to see, like, anything out of it, but on the other hand, it actually was kind of funny. Just, like, same exact page again, just with the sword broken in half, like, I can guarantee, like, no one expected that to happen. But, like, I'm really not a fan of Buck's speechifying, just his endless talking about how great he is. Like, it's the future I can see, and I don't know. Like, I know there's a certain someone accusing us of constantly defending Bach, but I can note that at least half the people on this podcast, probably more, have been disapproving of Bach's overpowered abilities, myself included. So, I don't know. One thing I have noticed, though, one thing that I've picked up on is that you notice, like, now that Bach is, like, completely covered in the shadows, doesn't he look a lot more like Old Man Sangetsu now with the clothing, like just like the white collar sticking out? Like, he looks a lot more like Old Man Sangetsu now.
Except for the eyes.
Yeah, except for the like, aside from the eyes, he does look a lot like Old Man Sangetsu now.
I was gonna say he has his mother's eyes. Sorry, it was a Harry Potter joke. Sorry, fine.
Anyways, which wouldn't make any meeting between Bach and Old Man Zangetsu funny, like Bach opening up with like some snarky comment like, "Oh, I like your fashion sense," like, because I can imagine Bach being that kind of douchebag to open up with a line like that. But and then he just proceeds.
Right. Okay. Well, just hit despair. But yeah. All right. Well, ciao, ciao, guys, and see you all later. Night.
See ya.
Night. It does the I shall give you despair, like actual despair. Let me see. What is this? Who's that?
It's Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
So he actually gives him a this. Oh, as in this pair. Right. Gotcha. Right. That's funny. Right. Well. Okay. So I'm hanging out because I'm tired. Night.
All right.
Night.
Night.